Hey, Lopes fans, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. Michael Potter here with the new head baseball coach, Steve Bieser. Steve, thanks for joining us here and having a little chat about the program. 58 days ago was the announcement. Does it feel like 58 days?
No, I think it's went really quick. I mean, we've had so much to take care of and kind of get everything settled and ready for the season. Like, it's time's flown.
Yeah, you talked a lot in the intro about your family and how important they've been to your success, especially your wife. How has that been for her? Especially a lot of your kids are in different places. How has that been for her? Another move and 58 days to kind of get acclimated to a new place.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a special woman to do the baseball life, and that's something that we've been involved in since really the college days. We grew up together, so she knew baseball was very important to me, and then she's become a baseball wife, and through the minor leagues and all the moves we've made there to the big leagues, and then into the coaching realm. When I finished, we really thought, okay, we're both going to get teaching jobs. We're going to settle down in St. Genevieve, Missouri, which is where all our family's from, and it got the itch a little bit after 9 years of high school teaching and coaching to play coach at a little higher level. And that happened, got the opportunity at Southeast Missouri State. And, it was a leap of faith at that time to do that. I mean, at that time, there was not a whole lot of money, and there still isn't a whole lot of money for assistant coaches coming into the college ranks. And so we took that leap of faith, and, God has been great and blessed us in many ways and gave us an opportunity to be head coach and been at some really special places.
You talked about Mark Hogan recruiting you and recruiting you and recruiting you. It sounded like you really enjoyed the high school life, teaching and coaching, and might have been comfortable doing that. How hard was it to leave that so many years ago and get started on this journey?
Yeah, it was really tough. I mean, I was at St. Johnny Vianney High School, and we had a lot of success. And it was a private all boys school, which eliminated some of that competition with girls being around. So it was easy to teach, easy to coach, and we had a lot of success there. So anytime that you're at a place that with that faith background and having a real sense of true life, what it means to just not be on baseball, it's a good place, and just really enjoyed our time there. And but like I said, there's you get things and you decide to let's try something else.
Yeah, it's not breaking news, right? You take girls out of the picture and high school boys can actually focus.
It is, yes. It makes a huge difference. It was really strange to me coming from a very small town. Like, I thought, oh, they have all girls schools and all boys schools, and and that was coming out of pro ball, and like just going there and getting introduced to that, I was like, it's a good setup.
All right, Coach, fast forward 58 days ago, the announcement happens. You do, all the press conferences, meet everybody. What have you been working on those 58 days? Because you had some guys that you were looking at maybe bringing back and retaining players-wise, but whole new coaching staff, a lot of new players.
Yeah, I think everything was new. I mean, we really had to focus on the players that were here. We actually only retained about 14 guys, not by choice. Like, it was, those guys had a lot of opportunity and places to go, but that really made us go to work on the finding our full roster. Like, we had at least 26 guys probably in our mind that we had to go out and find, and we've been very blessed. You get a place at Grand Canyon to recruit to. It's easier than I thought it was going to be. We were able to secure this group within, we wrapped up last week for the most part from our recruiting efforts. So I thought we would go, middle August before we'd be able to get that roster. But, things have worked out pretty well on the recruiting front. And we were able to get a really good group of guys, and just excited to get to know them and get them here on campus soon.
Looking at that recruiting process from afar and following it, social media and some of the articles that came out, it struck me that it seemed like once you got the guys here on campus, got to share your vision, and they got to see what GCU was all about, they made a decision pretty quickly. What was it about Grand Canyon University that attracted kids?
Well, I mean, I think in general, like, we talk a lot. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to talk to the recruits, and you're going to share kind of your vision of the program, and I'm going to talk about the faith aspect. And we get a lot of guys that really turn on, pretty quickly when they hear the faith aspect, and how, it's more than just being a baseball player. as you come into this program. And they're, we're really trying to coach the whole player and the whole athlete and give them a great experience, all throughout, through the academics, through the face side, through the baseball. And when you got guys that they light up, that you got a good shot. Now it's just getting them on campus, meeting them face to face. And, really the only ones that we struggled on was the guys that were like, hey, we're too busy to come on campus. And we just missed out on a few of those guys that we really wanted. But when we got them here and we were able to sit down and talk to them, our coaching staff did an outstanding job of just, showing them all the strengths of this school. And I think that won out.
I talked to a lot of coaches here at GCU, and the question that always gets me is, you can look at a kid and see, okay, that's a good athlete, that's a good player. You can see what they can do, but how do you judge the heart and the character?
That's a tough one. I mean, it really is, but the reality is that's probably the most important thing when you're building a program. And you can go out to any, event, and immediately within the first, couple innings, who the best players are on the field. You can see how they move. Like, I really like that player on the field. And then I think the most important thing is getting to know that person. And you have to pass on some guys that, this place isn't for everybody. And just like any school, it's not for everybody. But I think in the recruiting process, you really need to be honest with players you're bringing in, sharing your vision of the program, sharing who you are, what the program stands for, and then giving them all that information so they can make the best decisions for themselves. So when you're honest in those recruiting efforts, I think you're getting the right person that eventually says yes.
You talked a little bit about it during the press conference. A lot was about how to build a program, but your style of baseball, as it might be called, what is your style? What are you looking for when you're recruiting guys? How are you putting a team together?
Yeah, I think, a lot of people, it gets termed everywhere a Ben Bieser ball. So like,
Okay.
What it is it's just a fast paced game. Like we want to push the other team into being uncomfortable. So if we play fast, if our pitchers attack the strike zone really quick, dominating, getting ahead in counts, if we're on the bases and we're looking to move to the next base within the first couple pitches, whether that's, we're going to steal that base or whether we're going to drop down a drag bunt because we got a guy that can really handle the bat, or hit and run. Like, we're always trying to move, always trying to make the opponent very uncomfortable. So we have to recruit that type of player. We have to go out and look for a guy. And you talk about the 5 tools, like, the one thing that never goes away is speed. So if the guys, if they've got speed, now you got to teach them how to use speed. And that's what puts a lot of pressure on opponents as far as, I think a lot of people lose sight of the value of what that does to the pitcher on the mound. When he has to really focus on the base runner, now he loses a little focus on delivering the pitch, so it makes it easier for the hitter. So we're just trying to create chaos out on the field, and any way that we can do that, that's how we're going to go about it.
I know analytics are important to you. How do analytics fit into that equation of that style of baseball?
Well, analytics it helps the coach, in my opinion. Like, if you can use numbers and you can use measurement to talk to players, and, because the old way was, hey, my eyes tell me that you don't do this very well. Well, that's me making a judgment on you. Now, the new way, and the way that I like to frame it is, hey, we know what Mike Trout, what his numbers are, and we know all those numbers for Major League Baseball, and you want to be a professional baseball player. So let's take a look at this. On the mound, velocity it's too low. Like, how do we increase the velocity, rather than just saying, hey, you don't throw hard enough? Like, okay, let's go to work and let's try to increase that. Or your bat speed, like, we know average bat speed in the big leagues is X, and let's go attack this and let's really get after it, and let's work on this together, rather than, feeling like it's a me against you type thing that you have to do this. So we're going to use every data point we can to help improve our players. And it's a process. When you first get into it, like, you want to do everything. And I got caught up into that. Like, we had every little gadget and every little thing. And we were the master of none of them, but the jack of all of them. It's like, so being able to spend some years and digging and finding out what's important on how we want to play, and being able to take the important things from the analytics side and using the technology and putting it into the system really has helped us.
How important was building your staff to get to where you want to be? I mean, I'm assuming as a coach, you're like, hey, if I ever made a move, these are some of the guys I would want to talk to. How difficult was it to recruit those guys on the staff, and how important was that?
Yeah, I think it's just like players. Like if you can retain players, especially now, if you can retain players that you want to keep in your program, then you're gonna hit the ground running. You're gonna be in a little better situation. Same thing with my staff, as I wanted to keep as many of the guys that wanted to come this far out west. For most of our guys, that they've been in the southeast and done those things. But if I could retain guys that knew our system, retain guys knew of how I wanted things done, then we're going to have a head start. So I was very fortunate to bring Coach Packnick with me. He's been with me since the Missouri days, and brought him in as a volunteer early on. So he's seen kind of the many years of the development of things that we want to do, and having him on board and kind of being that second, he's our associate head coach. Like he knows what we want done, and he's very good at leading that. So like building that staff out was very important. I like, and people tab me like, oh, he always goes after pro guys. Well, what happens is everybody comes after my guys that in professional baseball as well. So my staffs have really, a lot of them, it's been a revolving door, because we do a lot on the analytics side, we do a lot on the technology side, so they're very well trained to go into professional baseball and do a good job in professional baseball as well. So it's really a trade-off. We were able to get two guys that were in professional baseball, guys that I knew before or knew their parents, and able to bring them in after having some really good experience in professional baseball. And they understood what I wanted to do from a program here at Grand Canyon, and they fit us very well. And Coach Ritchie and Coach Fitta, they both understand what we're trying to do on an offensive side and on a pitching side. So the goal is always to retain them. Can we keep them here? And then I hope it's going to be really hard, because that means we're having a lot of success, and people are going to recruit the coaches out of programs that have a lot of success.
As far as retaining the players, I know you talked about that in the press conference. That's probably even the more important part than getting them on campus. Baseball, NIL has kind of exacerbated this. I want to go somewhere where I can play and get my 100 ABs or my innings. But baseball still is a development game. We see kids come in and they don't really do much their freshman year, and they're superstars by their senior year. How do you recruit a kid that gets that, or how do you explain that to kids where it might not come until your junior or senior year, because this is just that type of game?
Yeah, nobody's patient these days, right? Like
Yeah.
you want immediate satisfaction, you want immediate playing time, and I think our system is in college baseball now. It's kind of even made that worse. Like you want to, if you're at GCU and you don't play in year one, you think it's going to be better to transfer out and you're going to play somewhere else. But like understanding, and that's where I feel like we do a really good job of retaining players. When you pour into your players every single day, you coach them hard. You give them a lot of good nuggets that they can improve their game on. They know they're developing, and then they start to understand, like, hey, it takes some time. I didn't get, I got 30 at bats my freshman year, but next year, I might get 100, or I might play every day and get 200. So being able to sell that development side and really come alongside them, and their goal is to get to professional baseball. So if we can come alongside them and show them the development, their improvement in development, and keep them developing, and we know where we got to get them to by their junior year, draft eligible, like stick right here, because the grass isn't always greener someplace else. You might go right back into the same situation in a program that doesn't really, a lot of programs focus on recruiting. Get a guy in, if he works, great, we're going to keep him. If he doesn't, let's go get the next guy. But I want our program to be one that's very stable and can keep players here, and mainly because you love on them a lot and you give them a lot of good things to look forward to every single day.
You hit on faith, family, and development when in your press conference. It feels like baseball molds with that discipleship really well, because you talked about teaching the way and learning the way. And it's almost like, man, we need you guys to stay here for 4 years so we can disciple you and make you a better ball player.
We really do. I mean, that's how I wanted to build a program. I wanted to build a program that players wanted to be in for 3-4 years. If they don't get drafted, it's 4 years, and now it's 5 years. So how do we keep a player for 5 years? And when you can sell the faith and family and development, I think that goes a long ways with players these days. Like because they have seen a lot. They have so much information, you know, sitting in that little phone of theirs. They can find any piece of information they want. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but when you can create a family atmosphere, people will stick around, and that's our whole goal. Like, you know, the first all fall, like I'm going to be concerned about our play on the field, but like I'm going to be more concerned about what does it look like in our locker room? Are these guys gelling? Are they coming together as a team, as one unit, and want to play together? Or are they going to be individuals? And it's going to be very intentional to create that team environment, supporting one another, that brotherhood that we talk about in the locker room. That's going to be the most important thing in the first, you know, our first fall that we're going to have in this program.
Coach, you talked about the Lopes Edge. You kind of learned that from Mike Matheny and kind of developed it into your own, talking about excellence, discipleship, grit, and earn. Are those all equally important? Is there one that's above the other? I know Edge, it fits where excellence is first, but are they all just equally important?
Yeah, I would say excellence is what I started with. And, you know, and Matheny and I learned it from LaRussa. So like it coaches.
That's pretty good lineage.
Yeah, you know,
what
coaches do is you're really good at stealing something from somebody, making it your own. And you know, and my acronym is it's a little bit different than what theirs was. And I put equal weight on all of them. Like we will spend an entire week just kind of talking through those, and, you know, everything from taking excellence from a faith standpoint, like, you know, getting into word with what does excellence mean there, to what does it mean on the field, and what does it mean in your life. And, you know, I think if you just start there, and if we all could just have the, you know, I always say comparison's the thief of all joy. If we could just all get in and be ourselves and understand like it's the best version of me. It's the best version of me in the classroom when I go to the classroom. It's the best version of me when I hit the weight room and when I hit the field. And then when I get away, how am I taking care of myself? If we could just get to that point and not worry about like our teammates being competition, because that's what I don't want. Is I don't want us to feel like, you know, me and the other guy that's competing for the shortstop, and we're in competition, we're head to head every day. How do we make each other better? And, you know, let God take care of the rest of it. And we'll see who gets on the field. And, you know, there's a plan for every one of us. So if we can work through all of those, the discipleship is extremely important. The grit's extremely important. And then the last thing is I know that like anything that you've worked extremely hard for, that you're going to take care of that. You're going to love that a little bit more than just a gift that somebody gives you that you haven't worked for. So I think that's a huge part. Like I tell everybody that every recruit that comes in my opinion, there's not a team in the country that works harder than our teams. And if you're good with that and you like the work, and it's going to be smart work, but it's going to be some good physical work as well. So understand that we work hard, and we want you to be part of this. But if that's not your DNA, then this is probably not the right program.
Yeah, I loved how you kind of phrased the earn part of it, about everybody's going to get an opportunity. I think I heard Jordan Peterson phrase it this way, that he believes in equality of opportunity, but not equality of outcome. Everybody gets the opportunity, but you got to do something with it to earn the outcome.
No doubt. You know, we know it all comes down to when we get into season outcome, but like we're going to sell the process like nobody else, like, because, you know, the fall's short and we got to really focus on the process. You know, we're going to introduce our practice plans and our goals, and like, how can we make that a process every single day? Because I think as coaches, and you've been in it for a long time, like, you know, if you can stick to a consistent process, and like baseball training is really boring. It's routine. Like if you want to be good, you got to be really good at the routine stuff and the fundamentals, and it gets boring. And who can outlast that and just really stick to those, the quality of just being excellent.
Yeah, Coach, I've really enjoyed this conversation. I'm going to hit you. I might have a few more questions after this. I'm going to hit you with some quick hitters, right? Just some quick hitters. You tell me your first initial thoughts that comes to mind. Been in Phoenix for 58 days. Best meal you've eaten so far in Phoenix?
Steak 44. Yeah, it's been pretty good. I've had a couple opportunities to go there, so
I think we're done with the interview. We're done at Steak 44. You can't do better than that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
That's great. All right, guys, get us a sponsorship with Steak 44 on that one. Coach would be glad to go to Steak 44, awesome. Have a steak, and sponsor that one. That's a good one. So best player you ever shared a clubhouse with? I know it's tough.
Wow. Yeah, that is really tough. I will tell. I'll give you a few because, like, uh, my favorite player that I shared a clubhouse with was John Old. He was just a phenomenal human being, strong faith background, very quiet, never said a word, but when he did, like everybody listened. Like it was really cool to be around him, and what, like, I would say he's the professional of professionals. Just watching him go about his business every single day. But I've been in the locker room with Albert Pujols and Mark McGuire. Were in that Cardinal group, and like it's been around a lot of really good players. So to say the best player is really hard. It depends on what you want. You want power, you want speed, but like been around a lot of really good people in professional baseball for sure.
All right, you mentioned it in as one of your mentors you learned a lot from. He's a guy who people seem to love him or hate him. What's a Bobby Valentine clubhouse and locker room like?
It's crazy. I think opposites attract a lot because Bobby and I we're opposites. Like,
Seems like it.
yeah, he's very outgoing, is just loud at times, and but we just hit it off, and it was because of how he cares for his players and people. Like you get to the professional level, like, I've been in a lot of different locker rooms, and it really seemed like there wasn't much connection between the manager and the players. Upper man, they try to stay away a little bit because they know that eventually they're going to have to tell you you're not good enough. Everybody's going to hit that point where the uniform is going to be taken from them. But like he was just totally different. Like he wanted to be one of the guys. He wanted to be around his players. Like he embraced me. Like he took me to the field every day early. In my rookie season, like it was just like, hey, let's go. We'll get some extra work. Like I could tell that he was really supportive of me and wanted to see me succeed. And I think that's one of the qualities that I tried to take away from him is how can I do that with every player on our roster and make them feel very wanted. And I knew my status at the major league level. Like I knew I was, the 24th player, and maybe when I was going really well, I might have been the 23rd player. So I knew the next guy that was going out the door was probably going to be me. But the way he made me feel was very special.
What is your favorite ballpark you've ever played in?
Well, it was special to play back in Busch Stadium because that's where, I grew up and got to see some games as a little boy there, and had, those were my idols growing up. Ted Simmons, Lou Brock, those guys, Ozzie Smith as a little bit later, but that was special to go back and play in front of. I live in a small town an hour south of there, and had the whole town of 5,000. It felt like everybody showed up to watch me play there, so that was special. But also got to play in Colorado and in their first year in the new stadium, and that was one of the most beautiful settings that I've seen. Their locker room was state of the art at that time, and like it was a pretty special place. But and then you go to the old the Wrigley Field and some of those iconic ones. So like it's just each one was different, and everyone was special to me because I just I embraced the fact that I just had the opportunity to play in a big league stadium.
Yeah, we both grew up in Missouri about the same time. I was outside of Kansas City, so I was a Royals fan. You were outside of St. Louis, so you were a St. Louis fan. When I told him that, the first thing he said was 85 World Series. It always comes up, right?
Yeah, that was my high school senior year, and that one stung a little bit. It was tough, but yeah, now I really, to be honest, like I don't have a favorite professional team. I played 6 different organizations. I appreciate every one of them, and I still tend to I check on the Cardinals a little bit. I check on the Phillies because I spent most of my time in their organization. But I don't really have a favorite anyone anymore. I just like to see a good game. I really don't pay a whole lot of attention to professional baseball until playoff time because you're just so consumed with college baseball.
Yeah, yeah. All right, favorite baseball movie?
Yeah.
Or when you're a player, you're like, none of that looks good. None of that looks real.
No, yeah, that's part of it. I don't know, like Major League, if I want to be, kind of goofy and corny, that was good. But yeah, I enjoy watching all of them. Like,
Yeah.
Now it's a lot of like Sandlot and stuff because, when my kids were growing up and just different ones that I like them all.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about your staff a little bit. Who's the funniest coach on your staff?
Yeah, it's almost like I hired a lot of guys like me, like that aren't very funny. My wife always tells me I'm not very funny, so I try not to do too many jokes in public. But uh, yeah,
Coach, that
I
dead
think
fan comedy's coming back though. Nate
is it
Bargatze is hot, you know,
okay?
just kind of dead fans.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know that we have anybody. Jack Wilson is, he's a talker. Like he likes to talk.
We know Jack.
Yeah, so like I would say, like he's gonna be out there and loud and there's just a lot of dry comedy, I guess, just in our when I think of the coaching staff. Yeah, I just now that you say that, I just thought like, hey, I just hired a bunch of guys that's very similar to me. So usually I do the opposite.
Your players will loosen up.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Are you a golfer?
Bad golfer, yes.
So who's the best golfer on the staff? Don't say Jack again. I don't even know if he plays.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Jack's game, but my guess, I always lean toward pitching coaches and pitchers in general. Like it was always in pro ball is like we go into spring training and position players are there from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. and pitchers are leaving before lunch starts because they finished their day, so they're all on the golf course. So I would have to say Coach Ritchie is probably our best golfer.
Best golfer on the squad. Are you a morning guy? Evening guy?
I'm a morning guy. Yeah.
Like, what's your day look like?
My day is very regimented. I'm just I'm up usually by 5:30 and trying to get out of the house by 6, get here, get a quick workout in over in our weight room here, and then settle into the day. I get most of my work done in the morning and then, just leave the afternoons for the baseball stuff. I just don't like to be tied down a lot with a lot of things that I needed to accomplish. And then I'm trying to go out and, work with players. I want to be able to give them the time that they need rather than I got to get back in the office and take care of this or that. But yeah, it's just, it's kind of it's just, I try to stay on the same schedule that I want our players on. We're going to work out, position players going to work out in the morning. We're going to get off to the class segment and take care of all the class stuff. And then whenever, that 1 o'clock hour hits, we're going to focus on baseball, about getting guys better and spending a lot of time on the practice side. And then just, spending the evening winding down. And, I don't do a lot other than baseball. Like that's kind of the passion of what I like to do. I don't get out on the golf course a lot, especially during season and anything like that. I'm an outdoors guy. I'd prefer to, hunt, fish, those types of things. So, but wind down, get to bed fairly early and start again. That's all I do.
Only hobbies really like hunting and fishing, and obviously hanging out with the grandkids whenever you
get
a chance.
That's what it is now. Like I always tell everybody, like if you could have skipped that having the kids and go straight to the grandkids, that would be the way to do it. But I've got 4 wonderful kids and 5 grandkids now, and getting a chance to spend time with them is really the most valuable thing for me. How can I create time to get to see them? How can we get them out here to visit us? And because the baseball season, it's most people don't realize it's a 12-month job. There's really no downtime. If you want to do it well. And my family's been so good at accepting what it entails to be good at this job. And I've just been very fortunate there, but getting ready to head to the beach for a week. And we haven't done that with the group, the family so far. So, we're going to enjoy that.
Well, Coach, this is the last question, quick hitter question. These haven't been quick because we like to talk, but the last quick hitter question, it might be the most important. A lot writing on this. Coffee drinker?
Coffee, yes.
Okay, he passes. We can keep him. What's your coffee order?
It's the mocha right now. I go in waves. I was straight black coffee for so long, and then my daughters introduced me to these fancy drinks. So like I really like chocolate, and I like just chocolate and honey in my black coffee now.
There you go. Right, yeah. I grew up, my dad was a black coffee guy. Go to Casey's General Store and buy the cup and get 5-cent coffee. He thought it was the greatest in the world. I'm like, Dad, that is horrible coffee, but
I still go back. I still have my black coffee.
Just go back to the black coffee. Hey, Coach, last thing. You talked about it a little bit. What do you want to just say to the fans, the folks listening to this, about what kind of program you're going to be building and why their support is so important, why you'd like their support?
The biggest thing I would say is like, what an opportunity that we have here. And that's what it really attracted me to GCU. It's any place that you want to have great leadership, and starting with President Mueller to Jamie. Like when I met the two of them, I knew that this place was special, and now having a chance to take this program to be the best program in the country is something that I really embrace, and I don't say that very often. And people usually ask me at the beginning of the year, how are you guys going to be? And I usually downplay it and say, I don't know. I don't know. Last year was the first time I knew we were going to be good, but I'm going to downplay that. But I don't want to downplay the fact, and hide from us wanting to be the best team in the country. And it's going to take a lot of work. We're going to need a lot of help. We're going to need fan engagement. We're going to need to pack this place and create a great environment. And a lot of that's on us to make this a very inviting place for people to come and watch games. But we're going to have to invest, and we're going to have to, we got a wonderful, beautiful facility here. Like, the bones of this facility is outstanding, but can we invest and have the best facility in the country as well? I believe that's a possibility as well. Just the space and the setting here is phenomenal. So, but it's going to take a village to do the things that we want to do. And I understand that. And I embrace the challenge, but also know that we've got so much support here, a lot of momentum going right now, and we need the momentum from the outside to really put us over the top.
Hey, Coach, thanks a lot for the time. It's been a lot of fun. Enjoy that vacation, and we'll get back to fall ball right when you get back.
Will do. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate it.